Hello everyone, it's Robin Dudley House, the Artsy Bohemian, coming to you from my studio in Los Angeles, California. Today I'm going to show you how to make a one-page journal. I've been making these, but I always make them into small booklets. I've been making them for years. You've probably made them. This is nothing new, but the size is new for me. I used to make them, and I still make them, from 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, so they're small and they're super cute. But look at how cool this size is. So I'm going to show you how I make this. I learned how to make this and got the dimensions from Nicole Watson Art. I will leave her link down below. She does makes a beautiful journal and then does all these amazing stencil mixed media artwork on it. So it turns out to be a 4-page journal. And I thought you could make several of these and use them as signatures in a larger journal if you wanted. So I'm taking an 18 by 12 sheet of cardstock. This is some cardstock that is recycled that I've had forever, and I had to cut it down. It was like a poster board. So I'm using just kind of a heavy cardstock. You can use, and you can buy 18 by 12 mixed media paper if you want to make it easier. So basically you're going to do the same thing like you would do with the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I've already kind of started the process. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half the long way, and then you're going to fold it in half the short way. And I do it with the page facing me both ways. So anytime I fold it, it's going to be facing me. I'm not going to be turning it upside down or anything. Also, what I did first, and this is not necessary, is I added a coat of gesso on here just so it has a nice tooth. If you wanted to add the gesso when the journal is done, I'm sure you could do that, or not do it at all. So again, fold it long way, take your bone folder, and really make a nice crease. Then open it up and fold it the short way. Let's see if I can get this out a little bit further. It's kind of hard to see the full piece of paper. And then fold that into a nice crisp fold. And you're going to open it up and you're going to fold so the short end into the center. And when I say short end, this is the 12-inch. And then you're going to do it for the other side. And what you're going to get is this. This is what makes you know that you're doing it right. Either an M or a W, depending on how you look at it. And then you're going to take this and cut it from here to the center of that fold. You're going to get this look here, like a little mouth, like a little bird mouth. And then you're going to fold it, and I typically go like this and just do that, but she takes it and this is not what I've done before, but either way it will work. So she takes it where the cut is in the center and pushes the sides out like this, and then folds it towards the back, and you have this book. And what's going to happen is you're going to have openings, so you have room for pockets, or you can close them up. So I'm going to show you what I normally do, and what she does. So I normally take it like this and push these two together, and for me that's a little bit easier. And you get the same result. Everything's always going to be a little wonky, so you kind of have to work. See how that worked there? Because this didn't happen the first time I made mine, but you're going to have to kind of adjust your pages, and then you're going to be gluing them. And then, so the way she does it, I hope I remember this. Just did it. So you push it like this, fold one side down and the other side down, and then push it towards the back. So what you're going to do from this point, if you want, on the one I made, I glued together the pages here. So the front one here, there's an opening. You're going to glue those down. And then on this one, actually, is that right? Oh, it's a little different. You can glue the side and then make little cutouts like we normally do for pockets. So I did that on two. There's two pockets on here. Because when you glue down the two pages here, it's going to make everything kind of stay together, and it's going to give you a nice binding. So I might just fast forward this part while I put this together, and then we'll move on. So now that the book is done, what are we going to do with it? And I kind of was playing around with some things, but I remembered that I have had some of these for a while. Those of you who have been following me have seen these. I use her all the time, and I love her. She's a little paper doll rubber stamp that you can get from Red Lead Paperworks, and I'll give you a link to at least one of the videos I've done using her so you can see how I made this. But I just thought, wouldn't it be cute if she was the centerpiece on the cover like that, and even down here? But it was set against a white background, so we need to make that look really cute and pretty. I love old, really old books, from children's books from the 20s and 30s. I love how whimsical the styles are, and the way that they printed and painted things, and they didn't look perfect. And I also love old wallpaper. Here's a book that I love, that I will never tear apart. I just love the illustrations in it. It's from, the first edition was from 1920, and this one was, see how cute that is? It says Mrs. James, 1932. So you probably know what kind of artwork I am inspired by for this particular project. Yeah, so it was printed in 1920, and I know there's another date on here from the 30s when it says the 19th edition. It's in great shape, though. It's so stinking sweet. So I won't go through the whole book, but this is I've always loved this style, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So I painted my husband a Father's Day card last year, and I really like the way it came out. And so I'm going to I was thinking it would be fun to stick with this style and the frame. It's always easier if you have something to look at and follow. So that's what I did, and I love the way this came out. So I practiced on this piece, and I'm going to show you how I did it. And you don't have to be a painter. This is really loose, freestyle. The looser you can be, the better. If you try to be real anal about, making sure every single little thing is perfect, it's not going to look the same. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it'll just make you kind of crazy. So I also thought it would be fun if I made a swatch, a paint swatch, so that you can see and make your own if you wanted, the colors that I used and how they're kind of these really cool muted tones. So the paints that I used are very accessible. These are really old, but I'm pretty sure you can get them at the time of this video anyway at a major hobby store. And I will put the links down below, or the colors that I used. But here is a shot that you can write down if you wanted to, and always reference, because the video will be up for as long as YouTube's around. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a really loose drawing of this frame with these really loose flowers. And this is kind of what it looks like. I just did a loose drawing on a piece of paper, a little notebook that I have. So I'm using a pencil that's called a Sketch and Wash. These are also in most hobby stores. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. Make sure this is facing the right way. And I'm going to kind of hold it at the end, which makes it a little bit easier for you to be loose. And we're going to make, the first thing we're going to do is make a frame. So there's the frame. And then we're going to do like an oval. I'll make it a little bit bigger here. And then just kind of little outlines of where your little roses will be. And a stem, and a stem with a leaf and a leaf, and then 3 other leaves here. A lot of these are going to be a little bit covered up once we start painting, but you'll see the outlines. The Sketch and Wash is kind of cool because it'll bleed a little bit, which I love that look when you put paint on. So they're just like squiggly little circles with little marks for the petal, the part of the roses. And again, it's very quick. And that's it. Oh, and I did little circles in here. Yeah, make sure you hold your pencil way back here, not here. You're not going to get that loosey-goosey. So the first color we're going to be using is a color I mixed with wild rice and white, which is this color right here. And I'm going to be using 3 different brushes. They're all small, on the small side. Where did I put my other one? Oh, okay, here. This one's a flat, and this one's kind of a round. They're all going to, I don't even, the numbers are completely off because they're old. But, use what you have. Don't freak out about, trying to get a certain type of paintbrush. And then I have this one. This one's super tiny and skinny, and this is for the end when we do some of the finishing touches to make some fine lines. I don't know why that's not. There we go. And this one's fairly new. It's a 0. Very, 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 very tiny. So I'm going to take the larger brush, and this is the mix. I've already mixed the white and the wild rice. Funny name, huh? And I'm going to just go in between the lines so I can kind of still see the lines. I'm not going to cover them up completely. And I like the fact that you can see the lines even after it's been painted. So I might speed this part up. I added a little bit more white to the original mixture because I didn't like how dark it was. Paint looks dark when it's wet, and then it looks lighter when it dries. So that's that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do some little blobs inside of the where the flowers are. And I'm just going to start with some white. I think that's what I did originally. I always forget what I do. No, I think I used a mixture of the cotton candy and apricot stone. So I'm going to start with the apricot stone because it's a little bit darker, and then do more of the highlights with this pinky color. So I'm just going to do a couple swirls here. Maybe make this one a little bit bigger in the center. And leave some of the white showing from underneath. And I'm going to add a little pink on top. And I'm always kind of doing this motion, just little C shapes. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little bit of the green. And by the way, it's nice to have a little water bottle by, because acrylic paints kind of dry out fast. So if you put all your paint out in the beginning, which I normally don't do. Oops, I just got paint on my camera. Yikes. I'm a mess, man. I have to wear like really bad clothes because I think I'm going to be okay and I get paint everywhere. Isn't that pretty so far? I love that look. You might go, that doesn't really look like anything to me. Now, I am going to take my smaller brush. I'm going to go ahead and kind of take some of that paint off and put it in my water. And I have a smaller brush here. And I'm going to mix, what did I say here? I think it was the green, wild rice, white, and mustard seed, which is a new color that we're going to be introducing. So the wild rice and white is basically this color that we used for the background. It's always nice to use as few colors as you can, and then kind of mix them, obviously without making them look muddy, but it makes it more cohesive, the whole painting. So I'm going to take some of this mixture with the wild rice and the white and put it over here. Oops, I put a little bit too much water in here. Some of this green and a little bit of the mustard, which I'm going to have to squirt some of that out. So this is called mustard seed, and this is on the swatch. Just a tad bit of mustard seed, and that'll kind of mute it a little bit. I wanted those really kind of old-timey colors. And get it to where you like it. A little bit more of that mustard. Yeah, that looks good. And you can see I don't need a lot. This is such a tiny little painting that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to kind of make the marks where the leaves are. Add a little tiny bits to the flower. I'm going to add little tiny, just the tiniest bit inside and maybe on the edges here. Very tiny. It's making it a little bit more cohesive, so like that. And where else did I put? Okay, so now we're going to do an outline of the stems on the leaves here, and also of the oval and the edges. You can see this can go pretty quickly. So I'm going to, I think I made a mix. Yeah, so I mixed mustard seed, wild rice, and white. Again, it's the wild rice mix that we did for the beginning, mixed with a little mustard seed, so we get this kind of toned down mustard seed. That's a little bit too dark, and I think I do use it at some point again a little bit, but there's a couple of different layers going on there. So with a light hand, this is what I'm going to call a little skippity-doo. You're going to just, you don't want like a straight line. It's just going to be kind of skipping a little bit here. And I'm going to start doing that here. This is the oval. And you see I haven't picked up any more paint. I kind of like that painterly look. And if you don't like it, you can go back in. Like I'm probably gonna maybe take a little bit of this wild rice and white and kind of push out that oval a little bit more. And then I'm going to add some of that mixture with the mustard and push it out a little bit farther. And it's just the tiniest bit, not saturated. And we're going to do that on the stem here. And then I'm going to do the outline here. Again, we're just kind of skipping it along. Again, I haven't put more paint on there. I'm kind of just using what's on here. My hand is way back. It gives you less control, which is why you get this kind of look. And if you go a little overboard, just kind of touch it up with the paint. Now I'm going to keep adding, doing these little circles here. And we're going to go back over all of this with some more layers with darker mixes of the paint. I mean, at this point, if you wanted to stop, that looks pretty like that. But I'm going to add a little bit more. And I just love the way that she looks next to this. Put it in the center or on the side. Yeah, and so now I'm going to just use the solid mustard with no mix. I'm not cleaning off my paintbrush. And this one, you're just going to kind of go over the same area that you just did. And I'm just going to do tiny bits here with the same paint, not too much. The little C shapes. And don't get carried away, because I often do. And it just takes away from the look that you want to create here. Just do 2 or 3. Just kind of keep it like that. So we're almost done. And I am just going to start doing this gray color. So it's a black and white mix, and you could make it even lighter than this. Makes this nice gray. And this, you have to be really careful. You don't want to overdo it on this because it's just, I mean, you could keep it like this. I think this is pretty like this. I'm wondering if I did more of the outline with the leaves. I think I might, yeah, I think I did. Hold that thought. We're not going to do the gray just yet. I'm going to do a little bit more of the, I think, the mix with the white, with the rice, white, and mustard. And we're going to outline in wispy little lines the leaves. It's a little bit too tan. So it kind of looks like this, or something similar. So there's the mustard, and this is the mix. And just again, just do little, oh, that's a bit too light. I'm going to add more mustard. Just make sure you don't cover the whole leaf. And it's those little wrist bends, just kind of do little flips with your wrist. I don't think I added, there we go. Now I'm going to add the gray. I'm going to start with teeny, teeny, teeny bits. And I'm going to do that also on the frame. And just a teeny, 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 weeny bit here. I'm going to go back to the roses, but we're going to mostly concentrate on the oval and the leaves for this part. And it's just the teeny, 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 weeny bit of this gray mixture. Oops, see, that's a little bit too much. Just adding a bit more to the bottom of the stem for the leaves. And now I'm going to do the same for these little circles. I'm just kind of going over, even though you do want to see some of the paint underneath that you have put down, that mustardy color. Just do little skippies, little skippy paint. Oops, that's a little bit too much. Oop, I'm kind of, the paper was bowing there, so I didn't get a good, that's okay. Let's see here. Okay, and then the very last thing we're going to do is just add gold. I have this Nova Color Gold, which I love. It's sun gold, but there's pretty good gold paint in the hobby stores, you know, like Hobby Lobby. I mean, Joann's is kind of closed now at the time of this video anyway. And I'm going to just take some gold. It's kind of transparent, so I'm going to go inside those little circles and do that. And you won't be able to see it unless you kind of look at the card in different light, like back and forth, you know, kind of look at it like this, you'll be able to see it. And then just kind of touch the leaves with some, like I said, it's not very visible as you're watching this probably, but I'll show you what it looks like in the end. Put some paint there. It looks super pretty. Yeah, let me know if you guys decide to do this, and I'd love to see what you do. And I think I added added a little bit more of the gray and more of the gold in some spots here. Again, it's very minimal. I would stick with just the bare minimum, and then you can go back in if you decide you want to add more. Because if you add too much, it's kind of hard to take away unless you want to go back in and paint over it. And then I just, lastly, a couple of little dots or swirls of this black. Very minimal. And see how I'm steadying my hand by putting my pinky down and also kind of putting it on the table. And that's it. Isn't that fun? I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you want to do more on this book, if we want to, you know, finish all 4 pages. I've just really been into painting lately. I love to paint. I've been doing it for quite a while, but I don't get a chance to do it that often. So see how different they look? They're a little bit different, but you can see that they're both, I did both of them in the same kind of style with the same paint. Yeah, so let me know what you think. I stay towards the end here. I have some goodies I want to show you. I'm going to be having an artsy boutique pretty soon, so make sure you're on my email list, my Artsy Bohemian email list, so you know when that's happening. That should be soon. Look at how stinking cute that is. And then you could do some writing here on the side. Isn't she cute? Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Before I move on, I just wanted to tell you that I realized when I was done making this that these were a little bit different. Oops. And it's so weird how I didn't notice that when I was painting this. I think I was just trying to do it quickly because I was on video. But, I mean, I still like it. So what I did was I added the leaves in the corner. And I did just a little outline on the inside of the oval. And I like both of them just the same. Alright, this is just a tiny sampling of what I'm going to be showcasing or having for sale in my next artsy boutique. So make sure you sign up for my emails. I'll put the link down below if you haven't already signed up. If you have signed up for any of my classes, my online classes, then you're already in the list. So this is one of the ones that's going to be a more deluxe bundle. But look at how just absolutely stunning this is. It's in great shape. It's very old. It might even be an antique. And this was for neckties. It's a celluloid cover and it's embossed. And I don't want to show you all the sides because what I have inside will kind of shift. But this will be full of amazing vintage and antique trims and laces. So it'll be a beautiful place for you to put your, put your laces once you use them. I still am in the process of filling this up. Some old vintage bobbins, wooden bobbins with very old antique lace, probably from France. And there's just layers and layers and layers. So I'm not going to go into all of it, but that's going to be this one bundle, and it's going to include all of these other things. So it'll be almost as like you can make a vignette. This is I hope this doesn't. This is a very old, beautiful mirror. I made this button card from these just exquisite carved mother of pearl, probably antique as well. And I got this button card from Sam Poole, one of her digitals, and I made it into a button card. Some beautiful fabrics, so you can make journals if you'd like. A vintage shoehorn, lots of doilies. This one's a pretty big piece, and it's already starting to get holes in it, so it'd be great to take apart if you wanted to. A handmade tassel. This cool little tin that opens and that I did a transfer on. I'll probably put some goodies in that. And then some really old 1949 vocabulary cards. I'll be adding some of those. So I'm going through my stash of things that I just am bursting at the seams. And there'll probably be some handmade jewelry in there. These are some old cigarette things. They're like little silks with images that would come in, cigarettes. That would come in cigarettes, I guess, like a little gift. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. I have items like this, and also there's more goodies in here. A lot of little doilies and antique little trims. I will have items that are, as low as $10, $15, just bundles of my de-stash things that won't be too fancy. They won't be in a fancy box or anything, all the way up to more expensive items like this, where there'll be just this beautiful bundle of hard to find, probably one-of-a-kind things. Not everything is one-of-a-kind, but there'll be the gamut. And also some of my handmade spun cotton dolls will be in that mix, and maybe even some jewelry. So stay tuned. I will be on YouTube more often now, and I'm really happy to be here, and I'm happy to have you as my audience. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. It is free. And you'll hopefully see with the algorithms that whenever I've posted. Otherwise, sign up for my emails and you'll be notified of the next Artsy Boutique. Thanks a lot for watching.